How's it going, guys? The 100 push is complete. Ended up rank 9 overall. First time I've ever been on the in-game ladder, which is pretty nuts. POB for the Fire Trap Raider will be in the video description. And there's only one thing I have left that I want to do in Trade League before we run it back in SSF tomorrow. So, in my inventory here, I have an Impossible Escape Jewel. This is a new jewel that Steel Mage and his community design that can now drop off the Maven. What it does is it allows you to like warp across a tree in the radius of any keystone, because it can roll different keystones on it, and that allows you to spec any point in that ring. So the one I have here is Necromantic Aegis. So when this jewel got announced, my buddy Sean and I, we spent hours like poring over the tree, trying to figure out the best possible use case of these jewels. So let me throw this one in here, show you what it looks like on the tree. So what it does is it allows Necromantic Aegis, it gives it a radius around it, and I can allocate anything in this radius. There we go. I just took all of those notable passives right there. So the like clear like best case scenario, like maybe like an unwavering stance or something, or imbalanced guard, maybe you can get like the extra resistances, and then maybe there's something like Supreme Ego that would give you access to charisma, mana reservation efficiency, and things. And then the other like big one is Chaos Inoculation. So this gives you also access to mana reservation efficiency, gives you really nice shield node, as well as Whispers of Doom. And you can just socket this in any full socket anywhere else on the tree. But this one is extra special. So this one is the only one that we were able to find that can allocate 7 notable passives that can also be connected by a timeless jewel. Now the other ones around here are close. Like this one can get 6. I think this one right here only gets 5. This one can get 6. This one right here gets 1, 2, 3, 5. This one gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all of these kind of work the same way, but this one gives you one more. What makes this special is most notably for an Elegant Hubris. So this timeless jewel, what it does is it removes everything from small passives. So they like don't do anything, but the notable passives have big mods on them. So this can be best used by an Ascendant, of course. It would come up here, grab this node, and then like warp out to another starting location to... Oh, there's 7 like passive points here that can just be allocated by use of one of these Impossible Escape Jewels. Now we were worried that since we're changing the notable to Supreme Grain Standing in this case, that it wouldn't work. But it still does apply to this ring around Necromantic Aegis, even with the Elegant Hubris in here. So Elegant Hubris has crazy mods. The one I have here, like this one, this node has 37 Chaos Res on it. 30% max mana. We got 50 cold res, 15% attack speed, 80% physical damage, 4% ES per power charge. This node has 8% chance to block spell damage. Right here is increased evasion rating. That's 50 cold res, evasion rating, 80% lightning damage with attacks, 10% max life. So all of these things are something that can roll on these 7 nodes. But you don't have to use Elegant Hubris. Elegant Hubris just has the highest potential upside. So something like a Glorious Vanity. Glorious Vanity, like, kind of rerolls every passive. Every passive has something new on it. And you can also just hit these notables. This one's got proj damage, skill effect duration, crit multi, cold damage, fizz converted to cold, spell suppression, all res, more resistances, chance to deal double damage with fizz damage. But you can still get stuff from the lesser passives here. And you can still take this keystone that it converts from one of these Scion nodes as well. So I'll go through the list of like what can possibly, or maybe we'll just divine stuff and see. Well, I'll just throw all these in here to kind of give you an example of what they can do. Now, this one, Militant Faith, is very unique, as it has different things that can roll on it. This one's got brand damage and channeling skills deal increased damage per 10 devotion. Now, you normally some of these travel nodes, they'll give you 10 to devotion. Whereas large nodes will have, some of them can reroll, but not all of them will reroll. So this one is the same shaper, but you get 5 devotion. So this one, since it's not like a normal pathing node, just gives 5 devotion. So you'd have to get to 150 in this tree, which is done by the small nodes. So this one's not the most useful, but you can still access some of these crazy things. +1 all max res while you have at least 150 devotion. That's a unique mod to the jewel. This one's got fizz converted to fire. Where are the other ones that convert? This one converted, fizz converted to lightning. +1 minimum power charges. 5% physical damage reduction, and fizz converted to cold is what this one has on it currently. So the last two, Lethal Pride and Brutal Restraint, only add stuff to existing passives. So the actual nodes here are not too terrible. Honestly, skill effect duration, 25% is a lot. Ash, Frost, and Storm is elemental damage plus increased effective ailments and chance to freeze, shock, and ignite. This is a very strong node. Path of Savant is 20 intelligence with mana and spell damage. This is ES recharge rate, ES. This one's minion block chance, which is not as generically useful. But then you got increased mana regeneration rate, increased mana cost of skills, increased mana, more mana regeneration rate, reduced cost of skills. So these would equalize each other out as far as mana and give you tons of mana and mana regen there. So when something like this, maybe these nodes are probably most all useful on something like a Winter Orb character with the duration and the elemental damage, the mana regen, all this stuff. But then let's throw Lethal Pride in here. Lethal Pride gives strength to all of the small passives and then adds something to the other passives. So on this one, I've got an extra 20% increased melee damage on top of everything that was already there. Max Fortification, physical damage taken as fire, 10% reduced extra damage from crits, 4% increased life, 1% life regen, 5% chance to gain endurance charge on kill. That's insane for what you're getting out of this with everything else, and that's just on top. And you're not losing anything by pathing to this node to throw a Lethal Pride in here. I'm still getting my mana regen, life regen, but an additional 20 strength here. It's not getting rid of Constitution like the Elegant Hubris does. This one, melee crit multi. Then there's 5% chance to deal double damage. So what it really comes down to, and I'll throw the last one in here, is can these be divine to give you massive bonuses across all of these? Because this one gives you extra bonus to dexterity on small passives, and add stuff to them. This one's got movement speed, chance to blind on hit, chance to avoid being stunned, frenzy charge on kill, more chance to blind, cold res, dexterity, increased effective non-damaging ailments, more movement speed, increased effective non-curse auras from your skills potential there. So there are lists of all the possible mods, but we're going to divine this Elegant Hubris and see if we can create something here that's just like broken. What we had before wasn't anything super special. What we got now? 20% chance to avoid elemental ailments, 25 increased global accuracy, 80% spell crit, 15% cast speed, increased effective chill, increased damage with bleeding and bleed damage faster, another 15% cast speed, 8% chance to block attack damage. That if you were pathing into this, you wouldn't want to necessarily probably path through the Silent Life Wheel because it gets rid of so much of it. But if you were coming from the side or from up here, you could get down to this jewel socket with less passives and then just like hit something crazy. Like, what if we hit like 40 something spell block on this? Who knows? Maybe it's possible. Like, there's probably other mods we haven't seen. We got evasion rating. Minions have 80% increased maximum life. Attack speed. Another minion life. 10% life. 50 mana regen. Crit chance. Fire damage with attacks. Lightning res. So, like, I think you can kind of see just like, okay, we divine this, and like, we're going to get something insane for our build for these just extra 7 passive points if we can get a hold of this. That's 10% life, lightning with attacks, mana regen, evasion per frenzy charge, chance to gain power charge on crit. That's huge. Cold res, lightning res, chance to avoid being shocked. 80% chance to avoid being shocked. That's almost shock immunity from 1 passive point. That's insane. Accuracy, 80% spell damage. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see a bunch of spell damage on this. Yeah, evasion, fire, melee fizz damage, spell damage, increased effective shock, attack speed, 37 chaos res, another 80% spell damage. Yep, like it's actually the potential here is like it's like limitless. Like if you get something that just like really hits, this one's got 2 melee physical damage, fast speed, damage per frenzy charge, crit chance for spells. So like there's a good chance maybe it's not going to synergize. But I think this is kind of like the, if you're really trying to min-max what is like there from a character, I think this is it. On the tree, the Necromantic Aegis, getting these 7 passive points, notable passives, aligned with your build with an Elegant Hubris and this impossible escape Necromantic Aegis jewel. Now, there's probably a lot of other use cases around the tree, because, I mean, you can do the same thing here, right? If you were to grab Supreme Ego, you can slap one of these in here, but you probably wouldn't want to use an Elegant Hubris here because Charisma is really useful, right? Oh, I need to take this out. So, like here, I get Charisma with, okay, this one's got Warcry buff effect on it this time. This one's got life and stuff, but not everything is quite as generally useful in this location as this one. Like, there's so much stuff that you can benefit from if you were to just use one of the like normal timeless jewels here still. I mean, this one can like stack lots of fizzes, extra fire as well. Ignite steal damage faster, that's huge. Totem placement speed, crit multi. Yep. And then you still got access to like Chainbreaker, for example. It's the limits aren't as high, I don't think, with the Lethal Pride as they are with the Elegant Hubris. So we got a few more divines. We'll keep going through here and see if we can get something really good. 20% increased flax effect duration. Fast speed, avoid chill, cold with attacks, fizz damage, chaos res. 20% chance to avoid ailments. I haven't seen any of the like really crazy ones yet. Let me just pull it up. Go to PUEDB. We're going to search for Elegant Hubris. And then Timeless Jewel Passive. So these are all the possibilities that we could get on that. Chance to get 10% chance to gain a frenzy charge on hit. That gives you frenzy charges against bosses. Like, that's a possibility there. That's crazy. Damage per power charge. Yep. Avoid shock. Yeah. 8% chance to block attack damage. 8% chance to block spell damage. And this, the crazy thing about these, and like also a 12% chance to suppress spell damage. The ailment immunity, like this is what I'm looking at. Or look at this. Minions deal 80% increased damage. Could you imagine, like, if you hit the jewel, right? That gives you 7 times 80% chance, 80% minion damage across these nodes. 560% increased minion damage for 7 passive points. Right? I do have like a build plan for using this. If I can get this jewel in SSF. Like, you could get stupid amount of life here as well. 60% increased effective shock. There's so many possibilities of this. Like, it rolls 2,000 to 160,000. So there's so many potential, like, rolls here. Like, finding the exact right one. And maybe, like, if anybody has this, like, data out there, maybe you can actually, like, look for a specific jewel to give you what you want out of here. I don't know. Imagine hitting something like 90 cast speed off this jewel. 80 spell damage, lightning with attacks. It's not as simple to get everything to line up as I was hoping it might be. But the potential is still there. Spell block. Okay, 16% spell block. 80%, okay, 160% spell damage. Now I'm pathing to it, so there's 50 lightning res. Let's avoid chill. Chaos res there if we wanted it. Minion damage. But yeah, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that's disgusting. So maybe you don't need this passive, right? You hit something really good. You don't need the melee fizz. You want the spell damage. You want the chill avoidance. 160% spell damage and 16 spell block. That is generic. That's 16% spell block while you're using a bow. You ain't getting that any other way. Like, it's all right there in the Elegant Hubris if you have enough patience and divines. But I think that's going to do it for me for today. If you enjoyed the video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks little heart icon just below the video, or by becoming a member to support me monthly. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Tomorrow we reroll Fire Trap Raider in SSF. So yeah, cheers.